Achieving your goals comes down to two things. One is a question, one is an action. The question is going to be revealed, and the action is for you to take. Dive in with me.
Born in 92 on the block with the Sharks. Come from a different cloth, y'all would get ripped apart.
Welcome back to the Decoding Success Podcast, top 1% globally ranked show. This is your host, Matt Labrie, and we are so excited to have you here with us today as we are diving into this. Man, this is something that has been on my heart. It's been on my mind, and it's so important to share this with you today because you're watching this, you're listening to this. I know that this appeals to you. You are where you are, but that's not your finishing place. You have somewhere you want to get to. How do we do that? And that is exactly what we're exploring in this micro solo episode here today. How do we close the gap? Now, I'm going to give you a quick example. This past weekend, I was on a run and I haven't ran in a little bit. I've been playing a lot of basketball. I've been running. I've been in the gym. I've been really spreading it out. But on that note, I said to myself, dude, what are your limitations? Now, does that mean I'm just going to roll out of bed and go, hit a marathon? Not necessarily, but on my run, I had something in mind that just kept telling me run 4 miles, run 4 miles. And that was just like my thought track. So I took it as a sign. And as I was out there running, there were a few times where I would check my Strava app. Shout out to Strava. I do use them to, no sponsorship or brand deal or anything of that nature, but I do use them to track my runs. And now, listen, I'm in New York City. This past weekend, it wasn't the warmest weather. So there were factors up against me. I remember one point, I get out of my car, I do a light walk just to move the body, get things flowing, loosen things up. I'm really. Welcome back to the top 1% globally ranked podcast, Decoding Success. This is your host, Matt Labrie, and today we are going to explore how to close the gap of where you are today and where you want to get. And I know this appeals to you because number one, you're either listening to this or watching this right now on YouTube, and you're a high performing individual. Where you are today is not the end result. Where you are today has some place in mind that you want to get to, whether that be in your relationship, in your career, in your finances, in your leisure life with travel, whatever, in your health, your mental, emotional, spiritual, like the list goes on. You have places you want to get. And today we're going to explore how to close the gap. And I'm going to give you one question that I prompted myself with over this weekend while on a run that really helped me close the gap. On that note, this weekend in New York City, I woke up and I said to myself, you know what? It's time to hit a run. I'm a very athletic person. I love getting out. I'm active, whether it be doing pack walks with my dog or getting in the gym every day or playing basketball during weeknights or hitting a run on the weekend. Like I'm doing something, or at least trying to most of the time. And this weekend, I rolled out of bed on Sunday morning. Good old New York City, 30 degrees. And I said, ooh, yeah, let me just tell you, this is not the best weather to be running. And me, of course, decides that it would be best to go run by the water. Of course, why not? So I head over to the water and I said, let's hit this run. Let's hit this run. It's a nice scenic route. I hop out of the car. I do my walk to get things moving and flowing, a little activity before, stretching these legs and getting into Clydesdale mode. And I get to my starting point. And when I'm at my starting point, there was something in my mind saying, Matt, run 4 miles. I don't know what came over me and told me to do that because, in full transparency, I haven't ran in quite some time. So to just roll out of bed, it's not like I said, go run a marathon. 4 miles is 4 miles, and I generally keep an 8 mile pace. So, all of that being said, I had that in my mind. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Just the weekend before, my friends and I were all slated to run the New York City Half Marathon, which none of us ended up running for numerous reasons. But bear that in mind. I have not trained. I have not done that. Like I said, I've really been spreading around the wealth when it comes to my health and my activity: basketball, gym, yoga, mobility, this, that, right? I haven't really been running. So I get to the water and it's time for me to start. I have 4 miles in mind. I open up my Strava app. Shout out to Strava. Love using them to track my runs. And I click start. My legs are moving. Next thing you know, like I said, I'm by the water. I feel that first gust of wind, that pushes up against my body. And I'm like, damn, how do I measure the resistance I'm going up against right now? Because it was physical. But then the mental resistance kicked in, right? The mental resistance of when I check my app and it says that I've only ran zero point 0.5 miles. And the thought of, okay, dude, you can stop, starts to come on. I hit that first mile. That thought comes back. Okay, dude, you could stop. You ran a mile. 2 miles. Same thought. Okay, you could stop now. Right. And I'm being very polite with what my mind was telling me to do. It wasn't just saying stop, right? It's like, all right, dude, this is enough. But was it enough? Was it enough? Why did I have to stop? Comfort? What I'm used to? Right? Those are the things that keep us where we are. Those thoughts. I wasn't in danger for continuing my run. I wasn't posing a threat against myself. But something within tells us often when we're pursuing the newness of getting to the place we want to get, something within tells us, no, 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 slow down. You don't have to do that. Stay where you are. It's okay where we are. This is comfortable, etc., etc. I know you can relate, and it doesn't have to solely do with running, right? No matter what the goal is, saving a certain amount of money, where it's like you get your paycheck or you pay yourself or the brand deal hits or whatever it is, and it's like, okay, $10,000, you have a goal of saving 7 grand of the 10. You throw it in the savings account and it's like, oh, but you can spend it on this, you could spend it on that. Like, no matter the situation, we always have the voice that says you can stop, you can stay in comfort, you can do X, Y, and Z. And maybe those aren't necessarily the words that you hear on replay, but I'm going to tell you the question that I asked myself that really helped me keep going to complete the 4 miles. First and foremost, it's you versus you. Period. It's you versus you. There is no one else in your way. Simple. This is actually so simple. I'm not saying it's easy to achieve goals. I'm not saying it's easy to defeat the voice. I'm not saying any of this is easy, but it is simple. If you want to get from where you are today to where you want to be, it's a simple process. Not an easy process, but a simple process. So when I heard that voice kick in and say, Matt, you can stop now. You can slow down. You could do this. You could do that. You could stay in comfort, is essentially what it was telling me to do. I posed the question back. And this is the question that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. I said to myself, Matt, what would the individual you want to become do right now? I'll repeat that. What will the individual that you want to become do right now? Meaning, how will that individual respond in this present moment? Meaning, if the future you had a time machine and could come be with you and run alongside you right now, what is the decision he or she will guide you to make? The answer for me was simple. The answer for me was keep going. The individual I want to become will say keep going. And that's the decision I had to make. So, in short, what I'm prompting you to do to go from where you are today to where you want to be is act as if, meaning be the person you want to be today. And we fill the gap of where we are with where we want to be with the actions that the person we want to be will start to take. It's simple, it's not easy. By no means am I perfect at doing this, because even as recent as yesterday after my run, I made decisions that weren't necessarily aligned with what I'm sharing. Humanize this process and realize, again, it's simple, not easy. Simple, not easy. It's you versus you. It's your lower self versus your higher self. It's who you are versus who you want to be. Simple but easy. And if you are looking to achieve your goals, no matter what they are, the one question you have to be asking yourself to achieve them is, what would the person I want to be do in this moment? What will the person I want to be do in this moment? And that is the action you take. It's a two-step process. My prompt to you today is to start to close that gap. Until next time, everyone, be blessed. Peace.